Aloha Dreamer, and welcome to the Dreamwork podcast. Today I'm really excited to talk to you all about Dreamwork. What is Dreamwork? If you're new to Dreamwork, this episode is for you, especially if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, an intuitive, a life coach, someone who has a calling to connect to their soul purpose, live a life of fulfillment, and start dreaming bigger. I discovered Dreamwork several years ago. I've been using it in my life and in my work, and it has helped me so much with gaining clarity, with connecting to my inner guidance. We are so focused right now, I think a lot of us, on always looking externally for answers. Dreamwork helps to guide you back to yourself. So if you're new to Dreamwork, I love to describe it as the art of connecting to guidance, support, and messages in the astral realm through your unconscious mind, and then taking that information and using it in your daily life so that, like I said, you can feel more connected to your soul purpose, your work, getting clear guidance and messages. If right now you are feeling kind of disconnected from your inner guidance, Dreamwork is such a beautiful place to start. And so the thing about Dreamwork that I really want to express with you is this is an ancient practice. This has been something that has been around for centuries. Our ancestors heavily relied on their dreams for guidance and support. But over the years, as we evolved, as modern day society took over and we have all this technology, we really started to get disconnected from Dreamwork. And I feel like there's not really a lot of people who are talking about this beautiful practice. And I feel very much called to bring it more to the forefront, to continue to talk about it, to help as many of you as I possibly can connect to this practice so you can bring it into your life and into your work. And the thing about it is that we so often, like I said, are looking externally for the answers, but the answers are within. And I'm going to do a whole episode talking about what to do if you can't remember your dreams, because that might be something that's coming up for you right now. Is like, well, how do I do this practice when I don't even remember my dreams? And that is part of the reason why I want to share this work as well, is because we dream every single night. Every night you have a dream. And the fact that the majority of us, I don't know the statistics, but I'd be really curious to find out. I want to say it's probably 80%, maybe even 90%. It's probably a really high number of us rarely remember our dreams. Maybe we remember our dreams once a week or twice a week or maybe a couple times a month. That is not the way that it is supposed to be. We are supposed to be remembering our dreams almost daily. And now that I've been practicing this practice of dream work, I would say there's maybe 1 or 2 nights where I don't remember my dreams, but I pretty much remember my dreams every single night. And when I first started this practice, I would say maybe 3 to 4 nights. I've always been pretty connected to my dreams even before I became aware of this beautiful practice. I've always been someone who was a dreamer, but now that I practice dream work every single day and night, I remember my dreams pretty much every single day. And like I said, there's 1 or 2 days a week where I can't quite remember them. But even when I don't remember them, I still feel connected. I still feel this beautiful guidance that comes through in the morning in my journaling practice. And so I just want to share with you a little bit about what dream work looks like, kind of what my practice has been. There are different layers to dream work, and we can go a lot deeper than some of the things I'm going to share with you today, but I just want to kind of get you started, especially if you're new. So one of the first things, the easiest way for you to get started with dream work is to get a journal. And I've always loved journaling. Journaling is something that I really got into in high school, journaled throughout college. I have tons and tons of journals filled with all kinds of notes and ideas. And it's always come really easily to me. And so I remember when I first started talking about journaling on social media, I used to share a lot of journal prompts and things on Instagram, and I used to share just a lot of e-journals that you could download so you could really connect to your ideas and your inspiration. And the feedback I got all the time from people was that journaling was really hard for them, that they didn't know how to journal, that they always felt really blocked when they sat down to journal. They didn't know what to journal. And I feel like that really comes from a space of judgment. I think we judge a lot of the thoughts that come into our mind. This really is on kind of the same, I would say, wavelength as meditation. A lot of us struggle with meditation because it's about paying attention to your thoughts, and a lot of us struggle because our thoughts maybe are not always so happy and positive. But journaling is really the foundation, I would say, for getting started with dream work, and to really go into dream work with not having any judgment over your dreams or what comes through in your dreams. Because the reality is, not every dream, as we know, is going to be a happy, uplifting dream. Some dreams are a little bit more darker in a way, deeper. They're a little bit more heavy. Some of them are really fun and lighthearted, but you know, our dreams can take a lot of different paths. And the beautiful thing about dream work is you come to it and you don't judge what comes through in the dream. You're just there to really observe and really pay attention to what are the signs and messages and sort of patterns that come up in your dreams. So that's the first step. Get yourself a journal. I know everyone talks about the morning routine, the morning ritual, but I am definitely all about the night ritual. And I feel like setting yourself up at night to have a really beautiful ritual to help you go to sleep just makes your morning ritual so much easier. Whenever I don't really focus on my night routine, I can't really have a proper morning routine. And so I feel like the night ritual kind of gets like pushed to the side, but really I would invite you to create a night ritual. And I'll be sharing some of my rituals and things like that as we kind of dive deeper into dream work. But it's really about setting your intention at night, calming yourself, getting yourself into a space where you can be open and receptive to receiving guidance in your dreams. So it's really about setting that intention and just honoring the fact that you even want to do this. And I hope by listening to this, you are feeling called and inspired to do this work and to see what comes through in your dreams and start to pay attention. Because once you start practicing dream work, it will become easier and easier to remember your dreams. Like I said, when I first started, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 times a week I'd remember my dreams, and now it's pretty much every night. There's maybe 1 or 2 nights where I don't remember them, but the more I practice dream work, the more I would remember my dreams. And so set that intention, calm yourself, make sure you're in a space where you feel relaxed before bedtime. I know a lot of us are really focused on checking your phones and being on screen times, maybe watching a movie before bed. But something that does really help with dream work is not having any screen time, especially once the sun goes down. Like I know that can be a little tricky, but maybe try this once or twice a week. Maybe set an intention on the weekend, on a Saturday or on a Sunday, that you're gonna have a night where it's dedicated to starting this dream work practice. And you can always evolve it over time, but just making that tension, you know, maybe it's on a Sunday, you say, tonight I'm not gonna watch anything after the sun sets. Once it gets dark, I'm gonna calm my space, calm my room. I'm not gonna be on my phone, and maybe read a book if you want to, or do like a creative project, and then set that intention that you want to connect with your dreams. And it can be open at first. You can just say you want to just start the practice. It doesn't have to be really specific. But if there is something that's on your mind, something that you really want to gain clarity on, something that's been weighing on you, you can be intentional and say, hey, I want information on this, or I want support on this, and see what comes through. So I personally love to write it out in my journal before I go to bed and just say, this is what I want to connect to. And so you can say, I just want to start this practice tonight. I want to set this intention to receive guidance through my dreams. Or you could ask a specific question and set that intention before you go to bed. And in the morning, you want to make sure that your journal is right next to you, because what I often find for myself is that when I wake up, the dream is there. And if I don't either vocalize it, maybe do a voice memo, or write it down right away, then I lose it. And so it's really important to remember that when you first wake up, to have your journal handy, or have a way to record your voice if that's the easier way for you to do it, and get everything out that comes through. And again, no judgment with this practice. It's okay if the dream was really heavy, or if it wasn't super uplifting, or if there was something that came through that was sort of unexpected. It's really about honoring where you are within this practice and not putting any kind of pressure for your dream to be a specific way. You really want it to just be what it is. And so write out your dream, write out everything that comes through, as much detail as you can. Like I said, it's so much easier to do this when you first wake up. And once you get the dream out, ask yourself, write it out. How did this dream make you feel? What were the key things that were coming up throughout this dream? Were there any patterns that you noticed? Were there any, were there any messages that came through? Who were the people that were in your dream? How were you in your dream? Was it you actually experiencing the dream, or was it sort of you observing what was happening? It's really interesting to see the different types of dreams that are going to come through. And once you go through this, I want you to just go through your day after this and just release the dream and just see how you feel throughout your day, and really connect to it again in the evening before you go to bed. Because what I have found is you will start to notice these messages and these patterns that come up within your dreams. And it's almost like you have this really light heartedness throughout your day because you've released a lot of things, maybe some tension, maybe some overwhelm, things you've been overthinking. You've released them in your dreams, and then you allow them to come to you during the day. You allow for things to be easy for you. You allow sort of this heaviness to be lifted off you. It's a really beautiful feeling that I would love for you to experience, that I want to, like I said, continue to share this with people so that we can start to all connect to this and release things that we need to release, and really live a life, like I said, of fulfillment and happiness, because we're not having these things weigh on us and we're feeling more connected to our inner guidance. So I'd invite you to try this out, set this intention in this next week, during the weekend, whenever you have time, to connect to your dreams. And if for some reason, because this is such a new practice for you, you wake up in the morning and you do not remember your dream at all, that is okay. It's still really important for you to journal out what comes through. Journal out, how do you feel about the fact that you set this intention and the dream didn't come through, or you can't remember it? Because like I said, we're always dreaming. We dream every night, regardless if we remember or not. But write about that. Write about how you feel about that. Write about how you want it to be the next time. And don't give up just because the first time you tried it, you didn't remember it. Or the first time you tried it, the dream wasn't exactly what you expected. Because a lot of times it's going to be different from what you expect, but it's going to be what you need. It's always going to be what you need to see or hear and experience. And I know that can be challenging, like when I said the dream is not maybe as happy, as uplifting as we want it to be. But again, sometimes when you have these really deep, intense dreams and you let it out and you write it out or you voice it out, there's just such a lightness to your day after that. And so I want you to start practicing that and keep practicing your dream work until you start to remember. Maybe you do this the first couple times and you don't remember. It might take you some time, especially if this is something that you've never done before, you've never had a dream journal before, you've never tried to connect to your dreams before or get guidance or support before. It might take you some time. It's going to be different for all of us, but it is so worth it. I'm telling you, as someone who's been practicing dream work for the last couple years, it is so worth it to connect to your dreams, and it just gives you so much clarity and so much connection to your purpose, and just that inner confidence that you have. Because like I said, we are so much as a society looking external, and it's all within. All of our guidance is within. And that's why I'm so fascinated with dream work, is because we're always looking for so many answers outside of ourselves, but it's within our dreams. We dream every single night and we don't even know what they are. And it just seems like I want more people to know about this, that this is such a valuable tool that we can use that can help us feel happy and feel content and really release that unsettled feeling. So I hope that you found this episode helpful and it helped to explain Dreamwork a little bit more. Like I said, this is sort of like an entry into Dreamwork. There are so many more layers we can go into, but I didn't want to give you too much to start with. I really wanted to give you a simple practice to really help get you started. And I would invite you to try this out and let me know how this makes you feel. I'll have all my information in the show notes so you can connect with me. I would love to hear from you, and be sure, if you haven't subscribed, you subscribe to the podcast. I'm gonna be sharing episodes every week about dream work, about spiritual entrepreneurship, manifestation, personal development, to really help those of you who have a calling to start dreaming bigger.